The silence of stars. When the universe went dark. Commander Arya Cross had been stationed on Frontier Station 7 for 3 years. She had watched ships come and go, carrying traders from 100 different worlds. The station floated at the edge of human space, where civilization met the unknown. It was a busy place, full of alien voices and strange smells and the constant hum of life. Until the day everything stopped. It started with the Zenthari. They were insect-like beings who controlled 12 systems near human territory. Their ships came through the station every week, buying human technology and selling exotic crystals. Then one day, they just didn't show up. No message. No explanation. Just silence. Maybe they're having internal problems, Lieutenant Marcus Webb suggested. He was young and optimistic, always looking for the good in situations. Arya wasn't so sure. She had dealt with the Zenthari for years. They were reliable, almost obsessively so. They didn't just disappear. A week later, the Corvan traders stopped coming. Then the Theshan merchants. Then the Ulrathi cargo haulers. One by one, every alien species that visited the station vanished. Within a month, Frontier Station 7 was completely isolated. The message that changed everything. Arya sent dozens of messages to nearby systems. She contacted the Galactic Trade Federation, the species that managed commerce across 50 worlds. She even tried reaching the mysterious Council of Elders, the ancient beings who supposedly guided younger civilizations. No one responded. Earth Command ordered all frontier stations to return home. Whatever was happening in the galaxy, humanity needed to protect itself. As Arya's ship traveled back toward Earth, she watched the stars through the viewport and wondered what had gone wrong. The answer came 2 weeks later. A transmission reached Earth's main communication array. It was broadcast on every frequency, sent from a location deep in Galactic Center. The message was simple and terrifying. Attention, all species. The Devourer has awakened. All civilized worlds are entering emergency quarantine. All travel between systems is forbidden. All contact with unprotected species is prohibited. This is not negotiable. This is survival. The transmission ended. No explanation. No details. Just fear wrapped in official words. Humanity stands alone. Earth's leaders gathered to understand what was happening. They brought together scientists, military commanders, and the few alien contacts who had remained on Earth. An old Zenthari named Clickrock agreed to explain. The Devourer is ancient, Clickrock said, his mandibles clicking nervously. It has existed for millions of years, sleeping in the void between galaxies. Every few thousand years, it wakes. When it does, it consumes everything. Planets. Stars. Life itself. President Sarah Chen leaned forward. How do you fight it? You don't, Clickrock replied simply. You hide. Every advanced civilization in the galaxy has retreated behind energy shields that hide their worlds. They will stay there until the Devourer feeds and returns to sleep. It usually takes 50 years. 50 years? Arya couldn't believe it. You're just going to hide for 50 years? It is the only way to survive, Clickrock said. Young species like humans don't have the technology for such shields. That is why we were ordered to cut all contact. If the Devourer detects you through us, it will come. And you will die. The room went silent. The truth was clear. The galaxy had abandoned humanity to save themselves. The first warning. 3 months passed. Earth prepared for the worst. Every ship was recalled. Every colony was warned. Humanity pulled back to its home system and waited. Then the attacks began. It started on Mars colony. The warning came at 3 a.m. Earth time. Arya was in the command center when the transmission arrived. This is Mars colony to Earth Command. We have unknown contacts on our sensors. They're not like anything we've ever seen. They're eating the moon. They're literally consuming it. Oh God, they're coming toward. The transmission ended in static. 20 minutes later, Mars colony was gone. Not destroyed. Gone. The entire settlement had vanished, along with 3 million people and a chunk of Mars itself. All that remained was a smooth crater, as if something had scooped up the land and everyone on it. The Devourer had found humanity. Humanity's response. The attack on Mars changed everything. People panicked. Some wanted to scatter across the galaxy, hoping to hide. Others wanted to surrender, though no one knew how to surrender to something that didn't communicate. But there was a third group. They wanted to fight. We can't fight this thing, General Thomas Reeves argued in the Emergency Council meeting. Every advanced species in the galaxy is hiding from it. What makes us think we can do better? Because we have to, Arya said. She had been promoted to admiral after the Mars attack. The galaxy abandoned us. They left us to die because protecting us was too risky. Fine. We'll protect ourselves. How? President Chen asked. Arya pulled up a star map. The Devourer consumes matter and energy. It's been doing this for millions of years. But there's one thing it's never encountered. Human stubbornness. She pointed to Earth. We have 6 months before it reaches our home world, according to our calculations. 6 months to study it, understand it, and find a weakness. Because I refuse to believe that something that eats planets doesn't have a weakness. The last hope. Dr. James Park was humanity's greatest physicist. He had spent his whole life studying exotic forms of energy. Now he had a new project, understanding the Devourer. It's not alive in the way we understand life, Park explained to Arya. It's more like a natural force. A cosmic phenomenon that consumes and grows. But it follows patterns. Everything in the universe follows patterns. What kind of patterns? Arya asked. Park pulled up his research. The Devourer feeds on normal matter and energy. But according to my calculations, certain frequencies of energy might disrupt its feeding process. If we could generate enough of that energy, we might be able to repel it. Might? Science is about possibilities, Admiral. Right now, this is our best possibility. Humanity threw everything into Park's research. Every scientist on Earth worked on the project. Every factory shifted to building the equipment they needed. Every person volunteered in some way. The galaxy had abandoned them. They were alone in the dark, facing something that had destroyed countless civilizations. But humanity had something those other civilizations lacked. They had nothing left to lose. The plan. 5 months after the Mars attack, Arya stood before a fleet of 300 ships. They weren't warships. They were science vessels, cargo haulers, even old colony transports. Every ship had been modified to carry Dr. Park's experimental energy generators. I won't lie to you, Arya said over the fleet-wide channel. This is a suicide mission. We're going to fly directly at the Devourer and hit it with everything we have. Park's calculations say we have a 30% chance of success. She paused. 30% isn't great odds. But it's better than 0. And if we do nothing, Earth dies. Everyone we love dies. Humanity ends. So we're taking that 30% and we're making it work. Around her, 300 captains acknowledged the order. Not a single ship turned back. Arya looked at Marcus, her second in command. You should have taken the offer to stay on Earth. Marcus smiled. And miss this? No chance, Admiral. Besides, someone has to make sure you don't do anything crazy. This whole plan is crazy. Exactly. That's why it might work. The fleet moved out, heading toward the approaching darkness. Behind them, Earth waited. Ahead of them, the Devourer consumed another distant star system. And somewhere in the galaxy, behind their protective shields, the other species watched and wondered if the crazy young humans might actually have a chance, the light in the darkness. Face to face with oblivion. The Devourer was beautiful in the most terrifying way imaginable. Admiral Arya Cross watched it through her ship's viewport, and her breath caught in her throat. It looked like a living storm made of darkness and stars. Tendrils of pure void reached out across space, touching planets and moons and pulling them apart molecule by molecule. Where the tendrils passed, everything simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed. Erased. Readings confirm Dr. Park's analysis, Lieutenant Sarah Kim reported from the science station. It feeds by converting matter directly into energy. But there's something else. It's learning. Each time it consumes something, it adapts. Adapts how? Arya asked. It's feeding faster now than when it attacked Mars. It's becoming more efficient. If we wait too long, our weapons might not work at all. Arya activated the fleet-wide channel. All ships, this is Admiral Cross. Begin final approach. Activate energy generators on my mark. 300 ships moved forward in perfect formation. They were so small compared to the Devourer. Like fireflies approaching a hurricane. But they moved with purpose, with determination that came from having no other choice. The attack begins. Dr. Park's voice crackled over Arya's personal comm. He was on Earth, monitoring everything from the main lab. Admiral, remember the sequence. The generators need to build up energy for 30 seconds before full activation. During that time, you'll be vulnerable. Understood, Doctor. How's the family? There was a pause. Park's wife and daughter were in the bunker beneath the lab. Scared. But hopeful. Don't make a liar out of me, Admiral. I promised them you'd make this work. I'll do my best. Arya cut the connection and focused on her mission. The Devourer was less than 1,000,000 kilometers away now. She could see its tendrils reaching toward the fleet, curious about these tiny things approaching it. All ships, activate generators. Begin countdown. Across the fleet, 300 experimental devices powered up. They hummed with energy that shouldn't exist, frequencies that Dr. Park had discovered by accident during his research. Energy that theory said couldn't harm physical matter but might disrupt the Devourer's feeding process. 30 seconds. The tendrils moved closer. Several touched the outer ships. 20 seconds. The first ship vanished. Then another. The captains of those vessels had known the risk. Their sacrifice bought time for the others. 10 seconds. More ships disappeared. The fleet was down to 270. 5 seconds. The Devourer seemed to realize something was wrong. Its tendrils pulled back slightly, as if uncertain. 0. Fire everything. Arya commanded. The impossible happens. 300 generators unleashed their energy at once. Or rather, 270 generators. Waves of exotic particles and strange frequencies poured out, invisible to the naked eye but bright as suns on every sensor screen. The energy hit the Devourer. And it screamed. Arya had never heard anything like it. The sound came through every speaker, every comm channel, even through the hull of the ship itself. It was the sound of something ancient and powerful experiencing pain for the first time in millions of years. The Devourer's tendrils thrashed wildly. Where they had moved with purpose before, now they flailed in confusion. The darkness that made up its body flickered like a dying light. It's working! Marcus shouted. The readings showed disruption in its feeding pattern. But Arya saw something else. It's adapting. Kim, confirm. Lieutenant Kim checked her instruments, and her face went pale. You're right, Admiral. It's already learning to resist. We have maybe 5 minutes before our weapons become useless. 5 minutes. Arya's mind raced. They had hurt it, proven it could be hurt. But hurting wasn't enough. They needed to drive it away, back into the void between galaxies where it belonged. An idea formed in her mind. A crazy, desperate idea. All ships, focus your generators on a single point. I'm sending coordinates now, We're going to hit it with everything we have all at once. Admiral, that will drain our generators completely, Marcus warned. We won't have enough power to escape if this doesn't work. I know. Send the order. The final gambit. The fleet repositioned. Every surviving ship pointed their generators at the exact center of the Devourer, the darkest part of the darkness where all its tendrils connected. Dr. Park, are you seeing this? Arya asked. Yes, Admiral. If you hit it there, theoretically, you might disrupt its core coherence. But it's just a theory. We've never tested. We're testing it now. All ships, on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark. 270 beams of exotic energy lanced out across space. They converged on a single point, creating a brightness that outshone the nearby stars. The combined power of humanity's last desperate defense focused on the heart of the thing that had come to destroy them. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the Devourer convulsed. Its tendrils pulled inward, retreating from the systems they were consuming. The darkness at its center began to collapse, folding in on itself like a star being born in reverse. And then it fled. The Devourer, the ancient terror that had consumed civilizations for millions of years, turned and ran. It moved back the way it had come, racing toward the void between galaxies, leaving behind the systems it had been feeding on. Humanity had done the impossible. They had driven it away. The aftermath. The fleet's celebration was short-lived. Without power, the ships were drifting. They had enough life support for a few days, but they were stranded far from Earth with no way to get home. Well, Marcus said quietly. We saved Earth. That's something. Arya nodded. Send a message back home. Tell them what happened. Tell them we won. As the message was being prepared, Lieutenant Kim gasped. Admiral, I'm picking up new contacts on sensors. Multiple ships entering the area. Arya's heart sank. Had the Devourer returned? But the ships that appeared weren't dark and terrible. They were sleek vessels with bright hulls. Zenthari ships. Corvan ships. Theshan ships. Dozens of different species, all of them coming toward the human fleet. A transmission came through. It was Clickrock, the old Zenthari who had explained about the Devourer. Admiral Cross, he said, his voice filled with emotion. We watched everything. The entire galaxy watched. You did what we thought was impossible. You faced the Devourer and drove it away. Another voice joined in, this one belonging to a Corvan. For millions of years, we have hidden from it. We accepted that hiding was the only way to survive. But you refused to accept that. You fought. More voices, more species, all of them speaking at once. We abandoned you. We left you to die because protecting you was too risky. We were wrong. Clickrock continued. We are here to bring you home, Admiral. To bring all of you home. And when you arrive, the galaxy will be waiting to thank you. The return. The journey back to Earth took 2 weeks. The alien ships towed humanity's fleet, providing power and supplies. Along the way, Arya learned what had happened in the galaxy while they were fighting. The other species had watched the battle. Their sensors had detected the exotic energy humanity used. Their scientists had analyzed how it disrupted the Devourer. And their leaders had realized something terrible, they had become cowards. For so long, we told ourselves that hiding was wisdom, a Theshan ambassador explained. That survival was more important than courage. But watching your species face certain death with such determination, it showed us what we had lost. When Earth came into view, Arya saw something that made her cry. The space around the planet was filled with ships. Hundreds of them from dozens of species. They had all come to witness humanity's return. President Chen's voice came over the calm welcome home, Admiral. You saved us all. Not just us, Arya replied. We saved everyone. We reminded the galaxy what courage looks like. The new beginning. 3 months later, representatives from 47 species gathered on Earth for a historic meeting. They created something new, the Alliance of the Brave, a coalition dedicated to facing threats together rather than hiding from them. Humanity was given a place of honor in this new alliance. Not because they were the strongest or the most advanced, but because they had shown that sometimes the newest voice in a conversation is the most important one. Dr. Park received the galaxy's highest scientific honor. His energy generators were being studied by researchers from 100 worlds. The technology that had saved humanity would now protect everyone. But the real change was deeper than technology or politics. The galaxy had learned something from watching humanity stand against the devourer. They learned that being young didn't mean being foolish. That having less experience didn't mean having less wisdom. That sometimes, the species everyone underestimated could teach the oldest civilizations a lesson they desperately needed to learn. Admiral Arya Cross stood on a balcony overlooking Earth's capital city. Marcus stood beside her, watching ships from dozens of worlds come and go. "Do you think the devourer will come back?" Marcus asked. "Probably," Arya said. "Maybe in another 1,000 years. Maybe sooner. But next time, it won't find species hiding in fear. It'll find us ready to fight. All of us, together." She smiled. "The galaxy abandoned us when we needed help. But we didn't abandon ourselves. We fought. We won. And now everyone knows what humanity is capable of." Marcus nodded. "What are we capable of?" "Anything. Everything. The impossible." And somewhere in the void between galaxies, the devourer drifted and healed and remembered the tiny creatures that had hurt it. For the first time in its ancient existence, it felt something new. It felt doubt. The universe had changed. Humanity had changed it. And nothing would ever be the same,